Unit 8, Lesson 4, Surface Area and Volume of a Cone. So we're going to look at the volume of a cone first. So the volume of a cone has a formula of the area of the base times the height of the cone, all divided by 3. So we're going to do some examples. So another way to write this is the area of the base is a circle. So that is pi radius squared times the height divided by 3. So when you're doing any type of formula work, you must always begin by writing your formula. So V is equal to pi r squared h divided by 3. What I like to do, and you see me do this on previous examples, is I like to label my variables. So 5 is the height and 2 is the radius, so that I know what numbers I'm putting into my formula. V equals pi, which is 3.14, or you can just press the pi button on your calculator, 2 centimeters squared times the height, which is 5 centimeters, all divided by 3. Now, this next part, you can technically do it in one step. Just make sure that you're doing the exponent part first. If you need to do it in 2 steps, you can split it up. So that would be 3.14 times 4, because it's 2 squared, times 5, then press the equal sign, then divide that all by 3. And you should get 20.9. And we're talking about centimeters, so your answer should be in centimeters cubed. Okay, next one. Here's our cone. Let's start with our formula. So pi r squared h divided by 3. I go to my picture. The 9 is the height. The 3 is the radius. And then I go back into my formula. V is equal to pi, which is 3.14. Radius is 3 centimeters squared. Height is 9 centimeters. And then that's all going to be divided by 3. If you want to try this on your own, you can press pause on the video and just make sure that you get the same answer as me. So 3.14 times 3 squared is 9, times 9 equals 254.34. Divide that by 3, and you get 84.78. I'm going to round that to the nearest tenth. So 84.8, and my units are centimeters cubed. Okay, the next 2 examples. We're still finding the volume, so let's begin by putting in our formula. So V is equal to pi r squared h divided by 3, and then let's start labeling. So 3 is my radius, 5 is my slant. I do not have the height of the cone, so what I have to do is use the Pythagorean theorem in order to get the height of the cone. So you can see right here, there's a right angled triangle. So if I want the height, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange this equation over here. So height squared is equal to the slant squared, and I'm going to bring the r over, minus the radius squared. Okay, so I'm just rearranging it over here, and I will do my calculation. So h squared is equal to 5 squared minus 3 squared. So these numbers are coming from this triangle. So height squared is equal to 25, take away 3 squared, which is 9. H squared is equal to 16, which means h is 4. So now that I have my value for my height, I can then go back to my formula because I have the radius and I have the height. So volume equals 3.14 times the radius, which is 3 centimeters squared, times the height, which is 4 centimeters, all divided by 3. And again, I do this in one step, but you can do it in more. So 3.14 times 3 squared is 9 times 4 equals 113.04. Divide that by 3. I get 37.68. I'm going to round that to the nearest tenth. So that becomes 37.7 centimeters cubed. Okay. All right. Next and final example for this page. So we start with our formula, pi r squared h divided by 3. I go to my diagram. So I've got the radius and I have the slant, but I don't have the height. My height is my unknown, so I have to do a calculation here. So I'm going to use this formula. H squared equals s squared minus r squared. So h squared equals the slant, which is 7 squared. The radius is 5 squared. So the height is equal to 49, take away 25, squared. So height squared is equal to 49, take away 25, which is 24. So now I need the square root of 24, which is 4.9 centimeters. So now I've got the height. So now I can go back to my formula. So I start plugging in my numbers. So pi is 3.14. The radius is 5 centimeters squared. My height is 4.9 centimeters. And then this is all divided by 3. Again, this next part, if you want to press pause, if you want to work on it on your own, and then press play just to see if you got the right answer. So that's 3.14 times 25, because it's 5 squared, times 4.9 gives me 384.65. That's divided by 3. So it's 128.2 when I round it to the nearest tenth, and the units are centimeters cubed. Okay.